asked to go in-depth on my rendering process, so welcome to part 1 of a series on how I take this artwork of my character, Morgan, from flat to finished. Now, my thesis for this is that art should be easy and fun if you want it to be, and that whether or not you know small technical tricks and shortcuts can be what makes or breaks the experience. So please be aware that I'm not giving anyone advice on realism. I'm giving people advice on whatever makes art less grueling for me, and I don't focus on accurate or consistent lighting. I just focus on whatever I personally think looks cool while avoiding perfectionism and burnout. Alright, for the shading on an image, I use a layer mode called Color Burn. You can see here that I set it to a clipping mask above my color layer, and then fill the color burn layer with white. So here's a general mock-up of what different grayscale values look like on the skin tone here, followed by something similar on a color burn layer that doesn't have the white base that I added. You don't see too much of a difference until you start playing with the brush opacity, because brushes that blend better have this beautiful warm edge to them when the white is used as a base. And when the opacity of the layer is lowered to a more reasonable level, it looks absolutely fucking lovely. But the really neat thing about color burn is how differently the same value will appear on different parts of an image. So you can see how drawing with a very light gray will significantly darken the hair. It's nearly black, but it's almost invisible on the skin and the clothes. This does mean that I have to fine-tune each shade I use for each color that's on the piece, but honestly that's kind of what I like about shading that way. It's very cathartic. Now, you're also not limited to using just grayscale for shading. While I tend to stick to that personally, if you up the saturation enough, most colors can be used with this method. Lastly, here's a look at what this layer looks like when I switch it to Multiply, which is another commonly used layer mode for shading. Multiply is in no way bad to use, I just personally love warmth and saturation in my art, and I feel that color burn gives my pieces more of a cohesive feel with that. This one got a little bit out of hand, so in the next video, I'll go over the actual placement of the shading in my process. I recorded like 4 or 5 times that I shaded that piece to demonstrate different methods. It is going to be so unbelievably in-depth, and I am kind of in editing hell, but that's completely fine. It's so fine. Okay, bye. Back to the editing cave. God help me.